go.
Awesome,
Yeah,
awesome.
so if you follow the Pat McAfee show at all, have you ever heard of that guy?
Mm-mm.
He does like his own podcast. I'm from Indiana. He was a Colts punter for years.
Okay.
He had like he retired in his prime, and everyone pretty much told him you're a fucking idiot. Like you're not going to do anything on social media. And he made like one of the biggest podcasts, and then now he works for ESPN, and they let him just kind of do his own thing. He's got like free reigns, and he still does a podcast. But anyway, I always followed his podcast and his style. And when he brings on interviews, it's not like he's got like a little booklet right here with all of his Q&A stuff like that. Like I got nothing right here. This is just from any notes that you may give me.
Cool, cool.
So I this is all just off the rim, and I feel like this ends up being more natural this way. I mean, yeah, it probably would be good to plan a little bit and have there probably be some things I miss, but I think it's worth the fact that it just kind of feels like more of a natural conversational interview, like
Yeah,
Wesley with Jim and Tonic. That's kind of how we did it. It was like just two guys talking on the phone. But kind of wanted to start before I know everyone's probably really pumped up to hear about the new pre-workout, the lockdown, right? So we got the name of it.
yes.
Before we hop into that, though, I kind of want to just like start from the beginning, like where how you got into the supplement industry, and like I think a lot of people want to know. They also kind of I'm always curious if this is like your full-time gig too, is because I want to know like or because I've found that people that it's not nothing against those that this is their life, like working out and supplements and training. But
Mhm.
the people that like are doing it on the side, it's like right away I know like okay, they have to be crazy passionate to take the time to do this. If like they're making their cash somewhere else, but they're just doing this shit for because they're doing it for the love, because you don't just pick up a side hustle for the for the fight for all that stress. It just if it even if it does add a little bit of financial, so I'll let you kind of run with your start.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Really, really good setup. So I've been a long time fitness enthusiast. I got into weightlifting in late high school, junior, senior year. And, I'm part of the crew that took the original like Jack 3D and some GACIC and things like that. And, graduated college, got into the corporate world. So I am working a 9 to 5 as my primary bread and butter, but I've always kept up, pretty regularly with like the fitness scene. More recently, like the high stem stuff has been kind of appealing to me, but the last 5 or 6 years, I was really contemplating working with like a Rocktomic or one of these manufacturers and just putting down the money to make like a pre-workout or one supplement, right? Like one SKU. And it just got to be too much trying to figure out like, okay, well, how the hell am I going to sell it? Who's going to help me market it and so forth. So it died off pretty quick. I did some drop shipping with a couple things too, but it was just really like hobbies, no money in it. And it came this point. It might be like a midlife crisis, like I'm pushing 40, right? But with my son being born last year, I had a month off from my corporate job and I had too much time on my hands to just think. I was like, huh, what can I do? I mean, I was almost about to take a business loan and go open up like a brick and mortar because I'm
Yeah.
close to a Navy base and everything. Thought that'd be a good clientele, but ended up finding this Supplocker business for sale, and it was like cut rate price. So it really kind of piqued my interest. Gave it like another month. I kept seeing it come up. It was trending for me. I'm like, okay, I'm going to reach out to this owner. And that's how it happened. I reached out in January, kind of did the due diligence in February and launched in March, got my inventory and got cracking.
So Supplocker was a previous company, right? And you just
Yep.
acquired the rights to it in that situation.
Yeah, so basically the story behind Supplocker was another fitness enthusiast. He's like a certified sports coach. He's done some, I think, some amateur bodybuilding and things like that. He opened it up as a brick and mortar store in Illinois. He'd been working it out of like his, I think, his apartment at the time, just doing like little sup sales here and there. And eventually he opened it up as a retail location for about a year. And then, he went back to just doing full ecom.
Okay. Yeah, I was curious because I don't know where I stumbled upon because I mean remember when we first met, you were talking about the name change and getting a new website laid out, and you kind of said it in the terms of like you like it wasn't your child, like like a so it's like okay, it must be this must have been something that was already there, and now we're just getting our own look on it. So
Yes. Yep. That's exactly it, man. Like he had, around 1,000 customers. I mean, he had a nice little base going, something I could work on.
mhm.
I kind of reached the point like a month after launching. I'm like, hey, I really want to get some cooler functionality, simple things, right? Like a dynamic add to cart or like a free shipping qualifier, things like that. Just UI changes to the website for a smoother experience. Um, his worked for like what he was doing and kind of his niche clientele, but I wanted something that was a little bit more broadly appealing.
Do you ever plan on opening a brick and mortar with Supplocker, or do you think you'll focus more on internet-based sales?
Yeah, I mean it's still a passion of mine. I mean, the reality of it is like I've grown my career. I'm in corporate learning and development. And so, I mean, I've been in that space for 12 years now. So it really comes down to like, is the juice worth the squeeze? If I could, if I had a really nice marketing plan and stuff after I do Supplocker for a while, I would absolutely consider going retail. It's just I have to be able to guarantee, my family I can make a certain threshold of income. So it's still kind of on my maybe like 2 to 3 year roadmap. But yeah, I'd love to get into that space and do both, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I kind of like how a lot of people they push off the big ideas and passions in life because like, oh, then I got to quit my day job and I don't want to commit to the, you don't know, there's no rule that says you have to go turn in your 2 weeks as soon as you start Supplocker, you know? It's like, why can't you do both? And like, let's just see where this thing takes me, you know?
Right.
Let's just win the day and we'll let the future take care of itself, you know? So I
Yeah.
like that passion. I think that's why we kind of connected right off the bat was, I'm a tax accountant CPA, like absolutely have nothing to do with the fitness industry, but
Right.
I do this because I absolutely love it, and I love to learn too. Like I like meeting people like yourself and Wesley at Gym and Tonic and other people on the either the manufacturing side or the retail side. And so with you, I've got the chance to meet both. I'm back on the combo. So with you, I've had a chance to, you got to be able to be the retail side and also manufacturing your own product. So I guess now we can kind of hop in to the actual product here and like, how you went from getting your feet wet, selling some making some sales with selling as a wholesale, purchasing from wholesalers and selling through that, and then all to jumping into lockdown, right? Is the name of
Yep.
it.
Yep.
I love the way it correlates with the company name too. That's cool.
Yes. Yeah, man. I mean, that really was kind of my plan and my vision. And I like to think as like a business major, I really should have like an iron tight, super awesome marketing and business plan. I don't. I mean, some things I kind of just do off the cuff, and I feel like, you know, sometimes it's great to have data and to have a plan. Other times you just got to trust your gut. So, I whipped up like the logo and the label work for that, but that was really the foundation of the business or the product, right? Is I want something that kind of plays off of Locker, like the Supp Locker, and I think it really goes nicely with the advertising there.
Now, when you started Supplocker, was the game plan off the get-go like, hey, I'm gonna try to sell some pre-workouts that I myself enjoy, but don't necessarily, but I'm not manufacturing, and then once we kind of get things rolling, we'll eventually try to get into our own pre-workout, or was it just getting the thing rolling and then one thing led to another, and all of a sudden you had your own tangible product?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little of both, right? Because like I mentioned, for years I've really wanted to do something like house label. It's just getting to that point. I mean, it's not, after you figure it, you buy your initial inventory, you purchase the business, you got to get the domain, all that stuff, shipping supplies, everything. I mean, you're in a pretty penny, right? So I had to sort of work with the inventory I had that I could get from my broker and then kind of play it from there. But yeah, it's always been a dream of mine to launch a product. And I saw lockdown. I was like, hey, I'm already in good with these guys, like in the high stem community. They're really feeling a lot of the stuff I'm putting out on the site. So let's go, man. There's no better time than right now, right? We're getting into summer. People want to get shredded. They want something cool. So let's do it.
Yeah, and I like that fact of just letting people get to know you first with other things. Because to be honest, like if the very first time I ever met you was like slipping into my messages and saying, "Hey, I got this product with all this stuff in it. I want you to try." It's like I'm a little like a little spooked out. I think a lot of people are like they want to. I
Yeah.
think that trust is really big. And although like people, there isn't really much. I mean, like there's a lot more customer loyalty than you'd think in like the stem junkie market. I feel like a lot of people bounce around based upon who's got the best prices and codes, like it's just in the general supplement market. I mean, you're always going to have your loyal followers for certain brands, but when it comes to like these stem junkie pre's, we kind of have our favorite retailers we know and trust because we got some interesting products, and I call them boutique style pre-workouts to try to not use any of those trigger words that get the get people on you. But I think that there's definitely a lot to say in that, and like customer service, and it's product care and just trusting what you purchase is what you're gonna get.
No, no, you hit the nail on the head for sure. I mean, I have surprisingly a lot of repeat customers. I mean, I have looking back at the analytics. I mean, there's a couple guys that have spent upwards of a grand since, just in what are we looking at, like 3 months since I've launched, right? So there's some ones out there. There's even a guy I think I mentioned, he's from Kuwait, right? That was using your discount code like I think like literally before I think you did a teaser that you were gonna do a review, and he
Yeah,
was already on the site buying it same day, and he's ordered from me like 4 times now. So I mean, you're absolutely right there with the loyalty, and on the other side of that, when you talk about like new customer acquisition, it's tough, right? Because I'll admit, like, I'll humble myself. My marketing is all over the place, right? Like, I'm new to Instagram. I got on there. I was just whipping up these little posts. I mean, you can go back on my feed and see them. Like, they look like, my son did it or something. But I'm learning, right? Like, I'm trying to do CapCut. And, with lockdown, I've invested to kind of like lock in some really cool marketing. So, it's just like a constant learning, like work in progress, right? But it's tough. I'll reach out to guys on Reddit sometimes. Like I'll slip them a DM and be like, hey, if you're looking for this, and sometimes you'll get a sale. Sometimes they'll be really interested. They'll hype you up, but a lot of times they'll straight up be like, yeah, you're sketching me out. So, I totally get that feeling, right?
you
And
got to shoot your shot though. That's what a lot of my viewers, I know you don't know, but Uncle Eddie, he with Muscle Players, he had a brick and mortar that was I can't remember the name of it. It was in New Jersey, but I called him early on because I found one of my friends, Mr. Remix Everything, who's probably made a few purchases. I know he bought Lockdown yesterday. Shout out to you, man. He put me on Uncle Eddie and connected us, and I remember having a phone call with him, and he just mentioned like you can't fear like people saying no. Like you got to take your shot. Like you got to reach out and just meet people and just talk. It's
yeah,
just you have to form that base.
no, no, for sure. I mean, honestly, that's how I see it. Like, what's the worst thing they're gonna say? No thanks. Okay, I can live with that. Like, nobody's gonna go sit there and run and be like, hey, this weirdo, blah blah blah, was reaching out. It's like they get it too. You're just trying to make a buck, and I think that's kind of it, man. It's like I mean, eventually, I'd love to get somebody that can help with marketing like full time, or regularly, right? Somebody I could pay like a monthly rate to just to like help with the ads and everything every day, but it's just not in the budget right now. So I kind of got to figure it out myself, just like the site design, just like getting the product out there. And yeah, it's a work in progress, man. But I love every day of it, honestly. And like this community has been so awesome. I mean, you, Review Bros, High Stem Ace. I mean, it's been so cool just finally venturing out there on like social media. I mean, I'm
Mhm.
almost 40, right? So
Yeah.
I don't really do it like that. I mean, even in my heyday when I was in high school, like I never did the MySpace thing. So it's kind of new territory for me, but it's awesome, man. It's such a cool way to connect and just to see the love out there. People on my post commenting, and it's such a cool feeling.
Yeah, can totally reiterate with that. Also, before I get on that, shout out to that guy, as I said, in Kuwait that was using the GYMDAD code.
Okay.
We said Kuwait, right? Where do you live from? Where was that location?
Uh, that was the Kuwait guy.
Yeah, Kuwait. Yeah,
Yeah.
I gotta give him a quick shout out, man. I
Yes.
appreciate it. And
Yeah. Yeah.
no, I feel the same way with you. It's you kind of just learning by failure. I'm like a long time anti-social media individual. I'm a big believer in what you do in the dark comes to the light, but there eventually you got to step into the light and share your passions with others. And I feel like that's been the number one thing for me as well as just the connections. Like I just like meet people in Poland, Australia, all over the nation. Just they all share the same passion and enthusiasm. It's like, man, if the STEM junkie world was like the actual world, it's like we don't give a shit like what race, gender, and ethnicity you are. Is like we just want to know if this thing hits or not. Like it's really cool to see the connections and stuff, and it's awesome to see that. I figured that would be the case on the retail and side of it as well, and um, as you guys delve into the supplement world here and venture around and meet new people. I guess back on the lockdown product.
Yep.
So what like when you manufactured the lockdown, what was like your number one goal behind it? Like how
Mm,
do you want it to how do you want it to hit? How do you want it to feel? Would you want to a lot of times a lot of people they underestimate like, holding the package, and I feel like there's a lot of placebo effect. Like let me get two pre's real quick.
yeah, yeah.
Always say like these two, I got this one right here that like it hits pretty decently, but it's like the label, it's just kind of like, blank blah. It's just out there. And then you got things like this that just like catch your attention. You're just like, what the hell
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
that?
For sure.
And like, there are two pre's that they're both like pretty stim junkie for user friendly.
Mhm.
And obviously that you're always going to choose this one over this one. And like just the way you hold it in your hand, the uniqueness of it. And so there's those things that differentiate yourself. So I kind of like to hear about like the design because we're in a copycat industry. And so every way you can find a way to catch an edge by doing something a little different like that. It's definitely underestimated.
Yeah, no, for sure. And going back to your question, man, I think for me, like the root of it, like what kind of drove me, what did I most want to get out of it? I kind of see things like on the high stim side as like a spectrum, and I'll probably ruffle some feathers with this, right? But I see like you've got on one end these super sense of urgency, like you just want to go Incredible Hulk, destroy everything, and it's that kind of stimulation, like overstimulated to me. Other side of it, you've got like this euphoria. So I really wanted to find a healthy sweet spot, but still lean towards like the euphoric stuff, right? Because I started getting samples, man, for Crack OG and Zeus and some of these other ones, Barbarian, and some of them were just too freaking much. I mean,
Oh
I thought
yeah.
I was pretty tried and true and tested with some of the stuff I've taken, but like Crack OG, I mean, I didn't even finish my workout. I got like two sets in, and I was like, this is enough. Like I felt like honestly just like throwing up and getting into a fetal position and crawling in a corner. I just felt horrible. So I wanted to make sure I wasn't putting everything in the kitchen sink just because I really wanted to focus on like that euphoria. I took some samples of like Maniaco. You recommended like what was it, Dark Horse
Dark Horse was
too?
one of those smooth, euphoric ones that like was
Yeah.
never didn't seem to cause anyone any sort of drama issue.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, most of that formula was mine, but to be honest, I talked with my manufacturer too. I'm like, what one or two things could we do to enhance this? Like, he helped me out with a couple pointers. Some of it's stuff that's popping, but some of it's like, hey, I'd go this route. So he helped me steer on a couple things, to be honest. And you know, I like that too because I really was trying to go for like no crash. That's another thing too. Like I'm older. I mean, I have a pretty high, caffeine tolerance, but I've got two boys. I've got a full-time job. Like I can't afford to just crash out and stim
Yeah.
out after work. Like I have to have something I can, still make dinner, change diapers, do all that kind of stuff, right? So that was important to me too, like the after effects, not just during, right?
Yeah, no, I feel like there's been times I'm thinking as soon as you start talking about the after effects, I'm thinking of Smash AMF. It's everyone, people have different views on it, but everyone can agree that we definitely all feel something. But it's like you had to plan your freaking day around that one. I remember like changing my
Yes.
kid, my 3-year old like shit himself, and I got called to the child watch, and I'm like just freaking out, like just like on one, like eyes bloodshot, and just like locked in, like trying to get this done. Like holy shit, like this, I'm way too out up there in the clouds for this right now. And so like I get what you're saying there about like, you want something that comes down smoothly because, we got way too much shit going on. You kind of have to like plan your whole entire day around it. Be like, do I have the kids afterward? What's going on? So some of those
Yeah.
pre. So I like that. I kind of like I mean, so I got the honor, me and Heiston Mace, Isaac, and um actually, my younger brother ended up volunteering. The younger brother, he's like 29 now, I think, but he volunteered as tribute to be a
Yes.
blind taste tester, and I wanted to tell about his experience real quick. I kind of gave you the brief, or sent you that summary, but
Yes.
so he's not a big Alpha Yo guy. He like besides that, it's like under 500 caffeine, under a gram and a half Alpha Yo. He's good. So I'll sometimes I'll blind taste test him. I did this with the Godzilla pre right
Mhm.
here, which flashy label we were talking about, but to me, I just didn't feel it. They claim three big names on there, AA, two amino, and DMBA. And the only thing I think it might have some BA, but that's a whole nother review. You can check that one out. But anyway, I've done that a few times with pre's. I'm a little uncertain on like what the hell's going on. And I gave him this one, and I just told him like, yeah, no alpha yo here. I may or may not have reviewed this pre yet. And he was like, the first thing he guessed was like, that was like a Ventador or a Dark Horse or something like that. He's like, you just gave me one of those guys again, right? And so it kind of like it right off the bat, I'm like, okay, that's kind of what the labels reads and what you're kind of looking for. And those are two like really popular, like happy times pre's. I call them this no drama, just good buzz, but like enough energy kick that you're not like wanting more caffeine of any sort.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think like, back to that point, like with Crack OG, it's like it's one of those ones that I feel like it's so stemmed out. I almost see it like it kind of does the work for you in a way. And I really wasn't trying to replicate that effect. Like I want something that, you know, you might have to meet it halfway and get us maybe a set or two in before it sort of peaks. But once you're there, you can channel that, right? Like it's not just going to stim you out and you have like that, that feeling you've described it too, man, where it's like pins in your heart. Like it's just overwhelming. Like I can't stand it. Almost like it's almost like an anxiety attack or something. So yeah, I was trying to go for like that kind of happier space, but not overly happy. There still had to be the urgency there too, you know?
Yeah, and that brings me to another question because like with doing a formula like this, if this does well, do you consider like, possibly doing in the future something a little more hard
Yep.
hitting? Because I people like they like these smooth, no drama ones because you feel like you can use them a few times. I mean, these are stem junkie priests when I hit the tolerance, but you could argue using it 2 times a week or something. But then we got those like once every couple weeks, like the ones we like to save for those special days. Do you think about doing like a limited edition that kind of hits that little market area?
Yeah, no, I've totally been thinking about that already too. Like I really am so eager to get like the reviews out there for this and really get that user feedback. Like I'm already skulking and creeping on Reddit boards and stuff, kind of, gauging hype. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm open to doing like like an insanity version or extreme or something like that with some pretty hefty like alpha yo, maybe some other stuff in there, that I can squeeze in for sure. And maybe even going up to like the three caffeine sources, things like that, like 500 or 600 total. So it's not out of the question, but it has to be worth it for me too when you start looking at like MOQs and stuff because I'm not going to go make it too if I've got to order 200 of them and think I'm only going to sell like 30 to like the most elite guys, right? So
Yeah.
I got to kind of play it by ear.
Yeah, and one of the things that I've seen this happen a lot where people make like a limited edition that's so damn close to the original
Hmm.
that it ends up cannibalizing the original, and
Yep.
it's like why the heck would I ever buy that one when I can get this one? Or they make a limited edition. The original is so dang good. Like we saw this with a
Helios.
Helios
Yep.
one, where like the red label ended up being everyone's favorite. And so you got all these limited editions, and it kind of gives them a bad name because it's like, man, this is the same company, this limited editions. I mean, to be honest, like I felt to me, it felt like a nice strong caffeine kick with
Yep.
maybe a little bit of Junglins or something like that. Like, but I had the red back in the day, but yeah. So you have and it was high flying and for Fornius, my review, very similar to the OG one, but yeah, you also run to that issue with the limited is just worrying about either not living up to expectation or cannibalizing your previous hard work and costs that you put into that.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I mean, there's even like, I mean, there's other ways to explore too. Like I could even look at, if I wanted to do a formulation like that, not even focusing on tubs, because, I could maybe do like sample packs, right? Where it's like a one serving, buy it. If you know you're only going to use it 4 or 5 times in a month or something like that, right? That may be a little bit more cost effective way to go about it too. I could probably get those in, with less MOQ. And there's other forms too, like Project M. They were talking about doing this whole, you know what I'm talking about, the dipstick candy kind of
Yeah, I saw
pre-workout
that.
stuff.
I
And
thought it was a joke. That was like one of those April Fool's posts where people, the fitness webs, Facebooks or and Instagrams were blowing up with fake products and stuff. And yeah, I saw the dipstick thing, and everyone's stories had it. And so,
yeah, I
speaking
mean,
of Project M, do you ever think about like in the future doing some sort of collab with people too as well? I've
yeah,
seen two businesses. I know Panda does that a bunch with people. Panda Supps will combo with other businesses.
yeah. I think they did one with what was it?
They did
Is
a
it
Black Magic
Black
Supply
Magic?
one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They've done with the Gorilla mode one. I think they did one with those guys. But yeah, it's really interesting. It kind of gets people excited when those two brands come together in another way to just like keep getting the name out there.
Sure. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm open to it for sure. Like any kind of collaboration, I mean, I'm willing to at least take a look. Like I don't snub that stuff. I mean, that's my goal is I think so much, right? Like not even just in the STEM community or fitness, but like in this country, like we're all so damn divided right now. It's like it's time to start coming together, right? Like I don't care, if you use my product and you're a bodybuilder or if you're just getting into fitness or whatever. Maybe you're using it because you like the stems and you need to study better, right? Or something like that, right? It's like it's all about like it's somehow improving your life and quality of life. Go for it. Like I want to support that, make it more broadly accessible.
Yeah, not be like, oh, this is not what it's used for. You're not supposed to, go on a jog with this thing.
Yeah.
This is for bodybuilding, not for. I feel like the powerlifter, bodybuilder, pre-workout community, like what they enjoy, go head to head, and it's like we're all trying to do the same thing. But like you said, like it is any sort of, what in part of your life aspect that could be enhanced by it. More power to you.
Yep. No, for sure. I mean, it's like to me, it's about the foundation of it. Like if you enjoy working out, it doesn't really matter how you look. Like that's been a big fallacy. It's such a deception in the fitness industry, right? It's like you have to look a certain way to promote a product, or you're going to use this product and look a certain way, and people get let down all the time. It's like just be transparent about your product, what you've got in it, and respect people. If they want to use it, don't put the pressure on them to look a certain way or be a certain way. Let them be themselves. It's that simple. So I think if more people just got on board with that, it'd make for a hell of a cooler community.
Definitely. No, I love that attitude. And I think that like when you mentioned the polarization and like everyone thinking it's got to be one way or the other. It's pretty refreshing being in this pre-workout Slim Junkie community because everyone seems to be willing to work together and to find the right product, but you're always going to have those outlier situations where people are you know attacking different brands or attacking different reviewers or retailers or things like that for doing a thing a certain way. But
Yep.
all in all, it's a pretty positive space.
I mean, yeah, it's good for business too. It's like, hey, it's a free country. Don't like it, don't buy it. Like I know people are opinionated. It gets to a point where, just don't go out of your way just to shit in someone's Cheerios, right? Like you can keep your opinion to yourself sometimes. And Reddit is just such a cesspool, man. It's like I've avoided trying to market on there anymore because it's just like people are just so damn sensitive on there. Like I was watching a video by Garage Gym Homie, man, and he was talking about so I don't know what the hell the point of it even was, but it was some recent like drama or something he was getting involved in, and I just comment on like, man, do your thing and stay above the riffraff. Like that's how you find peace, and that's how you move about your day. So
Yeah.
that's what I try to do, right?
Yeah, Reddit's like it's like you kind of just have to take what interest you from it, and then just keep moving on past the nonsense. Like two ships crossing in the night, you can't let that ruffle your feathers because a lot of times as posters, that's what they're trying to do. And I've watched GGH's videos are very entertaining on that. I think he's doing a good job playing heel, try to create some drama between him versus the Reddit community, and it's just good. It's good theater. That's all it is. I see people be like, "Oh, why do you even get on there and look if it just makes you mad?" It's like because it's entertaining and funny. And I mean, like 95% of people on, it's definitely there's definitely some wild stuff on there. But most people I've ever encountered with, I just I have certain people I've got to know, and I'll jump on there and scroll and see if like those guys have posted at all. Um,
Hmm.
I would do a shout out to all the names and stuff, but man, the crazy names, and I always I don't want to miss anyone, so I'll just do a general broad thing that anyone that's ever connected with me on Reddit. A lot of times I'll use those Reddit users are the ones that like put me on some of these like pre-workouts that have been written off and forgotten. It's like because manufacturers change, things change. I learned that with Renegade Labs Ferocious. Actually, I know the owner went MIA, and that before I lost a connection with him, and for like Renegade kind of went quiet. I know that he mentioned like reviewers kind of making a scene of a product that doesn't hit like it's supposed to because I mean he's told me almost like went through like depression when Ferocious got destroyed like 3 years ago, like it just tore him apart and they switched manufacturers and it was a straight hitter this year like and that's how I found out about it was Reddit because I'm not going to mention the reviewers, but I watched two reviews on it back in the day. And I watched two more reviews when I saw that it was back out, that Shredded RX. And I was like, "Ah, I'm not fucking buying this thing. This looks like trash." And then I think it might have been Fornius and some other Reddit members were posting about it. So a lot of times, like some of those older pre-workouts, get resurfaced on there from the people doing their research and digging in. So yeah, it's like I feel like sometimes you just got to think about the people behind the products too. I mean, you want to tell the truth though. Like if a pre-workout doesn't hit for you, say it doesn't hit for you. Don't need
For
to make
sure.
a show out of it, you know?
Yeah, no, no, that's a good point. And real quick, so Renegade, is that also the one that did was that Machine?
Yes, yep. Yeah,
Okay.
that was
Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, I remember you were talking about that like 2 months ago or so and said that was
and
a
Isaac review or Ace Heistem Ace reviewed that one as well, and it was a good one
yeah.
that they've kind of went quiet since then, and so we'll see. I'm uh, not going to be doing any more reviews on that, but it was a good brand, and I learned a lot from this Connections. It's like, even if Connections ever sputter out, there's still things to learn from each one. I mean, like you said, like you got to take your shot to and also fail a few times to continue to learn and grow as a person and a business.
Yeah. No, 100%, man. And on that note too, like yeah, I chat with toxic masculinity every now and then. And like he gave me a call when I first placed my order and stuff. And we'll keep tabs every now and then. But I'm a big fan of, they've been a particular inspiration to me as like another kind of smaller company, kind of getting some clout, getting some exposure, and making some really solid products. And I love the way that they market, and they just have this unabashed attitude. It's like, here it is, this is what we're putting out there into the ether. We know they seem to really, really know like exactly who they're going to. And I think a lot of their marketing is like uh deceptively clever, man. It's like I hop on, I watch like their stuff and I'm laughing my ass off, man. The Trump ads or this, that, and the other. It's like they don't care. That's a good way to be. You have to be able to like stand behind your product and what you're doing for sure.
I'm really happy you mentioned those guys because there were there's a few brands that I just really connected with, and we did me and Fornius PA Pro Fitness Snoop Dogg on Reddit, Meaty Morsels. I love that brand so much. We did something called, like, I think it's before I ran into you, we did something called the Toxic Tour where we hit like all the products, and a lot of people thought I just like was employed by toxic masculinity, not like in a way like where they're bashing me. They're like, hey, can I what they would ask me a question about it, like, do you work there or something? Like, no, I love putting on for people that like I would want to have a beer with the owner type of thing. Like he's an awesome dude, and so I'm glad you mentioned that because yeah, in the marketing too, it's just hilarious. Like you don't even think about it. It's not like, oh, like this product is on sale now for 2.99, and like it's like a straight ad read or something like that, with no humor. It's like it's like it promotes the business, but at the same time it provides humor as well. So it's
Yeah.
not like you feel like you're getting some out of it, even though you're technically consuming the marketing of his. But yeah, he's got a good thing going, and love supporting those small brands.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Hell yeah. I'm excited. I know he's got some stuff that he's working on for like some rebranding and reformulation too. So I'm gonna be keeping a couple of tubs and have like the OG now. Now there'll be some TMN OG products. So I'm gonna keep a bottle of each thing and keep it in a safe or something. So be worth
Yeah.
something one
And that kind of back on the lockdown and the labeling and stuff.
day.
The TM Nutritions also kill it with finding a way to make themselves find a differentiator in the market. How to toxic masculinities, branding, logoing, labels that catch your attention. And wanted to talk about the lockdown because I feel like it got a lot of people's eyes, that initial release in footage. And I didn't know, like, does that all, like, did you have a general idea of what you wanted to do, and then you reached out and had some outside help also with the labeling and design and stuff, or was this all your doings?
Yeah, no. So I mean, it's definitely a collaboration, right? So I mentioned like first step for me, right, was I needed something that, played off of Locker, right? So I was like, okay, well, I did some research. Like, there's already a locked in. So I was like, well, let me try locked down, or maybe it's locked down. So I was like, let me try lockdown. So I did a couple searches. Name was good, check, right? And I kind of just played it like that. Like, is the name already out there? Is kind of the stem profile already out there? Like, I don't want to just be like a cookie cutter. I want to have it be a unique blend. But for me, the next thing was like, yeah, I'll be honest. I mean, I looked around. I was like, hey, what's popping that I can play off of and tie it back to something I'm interested in. I mean, I'm a Goonies kid, right? So I mean, I've always been into like pirates, played, Assassin's Creed, Black Flag and stuff like that. Like I've always liked like the Jolly Rogers and stuff. So I was like, okay, cool. That kind of gives me a theme. And I just sort of did it like that over, every night I would come up with like, okay, name's good, theme's good. Played around even with Copilot, Chat GPT, Grok. It's like, hey, draft this up. Like I had something in my mind. I don't have the, computer
Creativity,
graphic
yeah.
skills. I mean,
Or
I'm
you had
still
you had the creative mindset. You just didn't
like,
have the skill set to put it in the action.
yeah, man. I mean, I had like the MS Paint back in the day when I was a kid doing that kind of digital stuff. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay. So fortunately, my manufacturer had, I mean, it was like a match made in heaven, honestly. Like this dude was like so awesome with Graphic Labs. His name's James. And he was just that guy that I could provide him a couple of high level things. He'd do that, that first revision. And I mean, he'd like 90% nail it just off of minimal feedback. And I'm like, yes, that's exactly it. And I was like, okay, wait, but change this little thing here, change this little thing. 30 minutes later, be like, all right, this. And I'm like, and it didn't take long at all, maybe 3 or 4 different email revisions. And I was like, sweet, that's it. Like he captured the essence so well of what I was going for. And, beyond just the logo, I mean, even the like everything, the instructions for like how you scoop and dose, it looks really clean. You've got the little things that were his idea, right? Like the skull kind of Uncle Sam made in the US. I mean, it just spoke to me. I'm like, he's picking up what I'm putting down, right? So, I like paying things forward. I mean, it's not all me, right? It's a collaboration, and the vision, the formula, all that, sure, but everything else, man, yeah, I needed help, and I'm so thankful to be, put in the right places with the right people like that.
Yeah, it turned out really well. It's one of those ones that you see and like me, it's a lot of times I want some of these products because they look freaking badass on the shelf and a lot of people have little displays like I got behind me that where they would like to have it hanging up and I was thinking that the same thing like the Goonies style and thank God you didn't name it Doomsday again. It's been like 4 Doomsdays come out within the last like 6 months. So no, I love the name. It's unique, different. I know there's a few other pirate ones and skull ones. Black Dark Labs has used the skulls a lot. You got the what was that? I can't
Is it
remember the
legit?
name. There's a pirate one with a pirate on it. I'm blanking on the
Black,
name of it.
Black Flag, I think,
Yeah,
actually. Yeah.
Black Flag supplements. Yeah, those guys had the pirate theme, but it was definitely unique and different. And so when you finished making the label, because you mentioned this and it kind of made me thinking like Fornius broke this down in one of our reviews on like Zeus was a cop or one of the pre-workouts that is around today was a copycat of Zeus and someone else copycatted Dark Energy and then Kill Switch was a copycat of I'm blanking on the one Final Call or something. You see these ones and they're literally the exact same dosage, ingredients, and everything.
Sure.
And I imagine like at the time when you created it, were you like as you were creating it, were you looking at ingredients and other products, or were you like did you finish it and then be like, okay, let's go cross-reference this and make sure that nothing else is like identical?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, like I want to be humble about that, right? Like, yeah, I had to take a look at what's out there. I mean, it's not just like my little brainchild that plopped
Yeah,
out everything. I was doing market research, looking at reviews, even skulking Reddit, finding out like what was working. And honestly, to kind of pay it forward, like Maniaca was one of those ones that was really something I was like, okay, I get what they're going for there because it's a simple profile, and sometimes like less is more. That's because I've seen the other side of that. The Terminator one that you did, some of these like these funky ones, man, you don't know where the hell they're coming from. Those are cool. They have a place, but I feel like you put too much weird stuff in there, right? And you're like, but
yeah.
why? Like one of them, I think you mentioned even had a, well, I guess I probably shouldn't say it for the video, right?
It was in the family of the
Yeah,
research product that like we mentioned it was if you did like if you did a deep dive into it, it was
yeah,
insanely underdosed. And it's like, okay,
yeah.
they're just doing this to catch eyes and get people
Yeah.
talking.
Yeah, it's not going to do shit for you, right?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I mean, you literally have to run a cycle at the same time you're using a pre-workout. So, nah, not cool. But yeah, I think it's sometimes less is more. That's why I like to think like mine's not overly complicated. You get the idea when you look at the label, what it's there for. It's a high stim pre. It's going to have some energy, but I did try to focus a little bit more too on. I see a lot of this where you have 2, 3 grams of L-citrulline in some of these pump matrices, and it's like, all right, that it's not going to hurt, but maybe it's also really not going to help all that much. So I feel like at some point, if you're not going to dose it correctly, you're better off just putting that into something else. So like when I put in the pump matrix, I was like, yeah, let's dose it so where you're going to get a pump. And so I think that was important is, like you said, kind of cross-referencing everything, making sure that nobody's got the exact same thing, or hopefully nothing close that somebody sits there and says, hey, he's just ripping this one, right? So I really hope it's that kind of like trifecta with the name, the label, obviously the effects that makes it novel and unique enough. That's what I'm going for. And back to the label too, just one piece that I wanted to really convey too, like that was the word I used most with the label artist. It's like, hey, I want this to be like bold and timeless, right? Like I want it to really, really pop. And like you said, be one of those ones that can sit on a shelf and look super timeless and cool like that.
Oh, it's badass. It's one of those. Hopefully, we're looking back on this in 2 or 3 years, and like this thing's blown up, and you got a framed, massive label in your man cave downstairs or something like that. Like that's how
Yeah.
cool it is. It's like you picture this being like the next big thing, and then being able to do something like that with it, and it look amazing on the wall. And yeah, hopefully, I have mine sitting on the porch. It might be on the porch right now. I know it's supposed to come in today. I got I got the great honor of running the samples and things like that. But sometimes you never know, like when the manufacturers send you the samples and then you bust open the real tub. So I'm excited to run this one and hit my review. But have you been able to bust open the tubs that came back and give
Yeah.
those things runs?
Yeah, yeah, and it's interesting too. I mean, I think that that last ingredient too that I put in there since you guys tested it, the isopropyl norepinephrine. I think that really really helped because so many of the initial feedback was like, ah, it should have a little bit of alpha yo, and then other people were, no, it shouldn't. So I feel like it's a nice CNS stem,
Okay.
but maybe not as hardcore as the alpha yo. So I think it kind of gave it that extra little thermogenic pop that it needed that I saw.
Sometimes people they like the two amino the feel good happy, but they also kind of miss that like they want to feel it. They want like some urgency, some adrenaline
Yep,
rush. And so I could see how that ad could add some of that to it, that little bit of wake me up call. Because
yep.
like you said, like this one, sometimes you got to meet it halfway, and those are the types of things that help you get your ass going, so you have the energy to go meet that pre halfway.
No, that's well said for sure. And like another piece too that is almost like part of the strategy, if you will, too. I mean, that's why I wanted to go in on the pump because it's like, what's going to motivate you to kind of get there and keep working? Like, hey, let's be honest, like you look at yourself in the mirror, you're looking juicy. Yeah, you're gonna want to keep going, right? I mean, that's just the way that it works. So
Adds to the euphoric effect of the pre because you feel happier, you're looking better.
yeah,
It all starts correlating and helping each other out.
yeah, man, it's that infinity loop, right? But like that's really the concept too, where I don't know if everybody's gonna get it, but I'll try to explain it the best I can too. Like back to like the lock and the key is it's like to me, you're locked in, but you're not trapped. And like I think that was important too, because some of those ones they just hit so damn hard, like you said, you just feel sick afterwards for hours. Like it's like almost like coming off a bad trip. I wanted like the key and the lock, right, to be
Yeah,
close to home and like within reach, right? If you want to kind of go do what you need to do afterwards, this one you can still do that with. So
a
that was
lot.
kind of the idea.
I didn't pick up that symbolism when I was looking at the label, but I'll look at it differently now when I see that key. That there's a purpose for that being there on the shot. I guess to kind of wrap this one up, I know that yesterday was the release date, and we mentioned before the call that it was like record sales for you guys. Where are we sitting at? How many units we got left?
Oh, geez. I mean, yeah, record sales. Let's keep that in perspective. Yeah, I mean, I went through almost 25. So, I mean, like we've still got 175 to get through. But for me, like where I've been historically, that's a hell of a day. So it was really, really awesome sales.
And hopefully by the time I get this thing out, that's like 25 left and about
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. And it's weird too, man, because it's like, I'm just happy to have it too. Like I almost don't want to just blow through them super quick because I like having it on there because it gets folks interested in like other products too, right? Like they can come on there. That's why I tried to do that 50% off like
Yeah,
Helios.
that was my next thing was bringing about that sale too. It's like this is a perfect little storm for people that want to try Supplocker. And if they're like me, I have a personal it's almost a religious habit of mine to like never pay shipping and always get to the free ship, which usually you got to buy 2 or 3 products. And so the fact that there was just 50% off, it's SVG 75, Savage AF, Helios, and then Helios Limited, right? Or the four.
Yeah, actually just three. So I've been out of limited for a minute. So that one's
Oh,
if
so
you did.
Limited's the one that actually is gone.
Yep, it's already
Okay.
on. So we've
So
got
everyone,
plenty.
the good stuff. So the three best ones right there. Those are the
Yep.
three I would recommend if I had to keep three, kill one. So good news for anyone looking to pick up the lockdown. But
Yeah.
anyway, I'm excited to run it. We'll wrap this thing up. But definitely looking to give you some good feedback. I know that Garage Gym Homie's going to review this one too. Heist and Ace. Is there any other should we look for? I mean, you never know. You could have your spontaneous reviews and Reddit reviews and things like that as well too, which are huge. I think people underestimate the power of like some of these written reviews too that they carry.
For sure. Yeah, no, I mean we've got review bros on there too. I mean, they were, really instrumental too for me as I mean, I'm still early, right? But like even within the end of the first month, like I had a Helios limited to them and I remember just I was so elated, man. They had this video drop and it was my first review video from, like an influencer and stuff. And I just felt
Yeah.
like a kid in a candy store. I was like just so I was like shut up, babe. Like I made her sit down on the couch, and just sit there and watch the video. And it was just such a cool feeling. So
He's
yeah,
probably like, who the hell are these guys? Like these international guys talking about
oh
the
yeah,
workout. Like these are a big deal. Like the fitness
yeah,
world, it's like a celebrity. I remember like I mention him all the time now. He's like a father figure to me. The Uncle Eddie from Muscle Players, because I was like in the early my Stim Junkie era, and TJ from Fitness Deals News is the same way. And I remember like getting a call from Uncle Eddie, and I was like, hey, why? I was like, I told my wife, hey, you watch the kids. I got to go upstairs and talk to Uncle Eddie. She's like, who the hell is you got Uncle Eddie? I'm like, no, no, no. The supplement industry. So it's like it's such a unique group that like literally no one understands like some of these names and faces, and it's just really cool to be part of it stuff. So
yeah. No,
it's I'm
for
so
sure.
pumped up for lockdown. I'll let you go, but
Yeah.
definitely appreciate you joining the channel and sharing some stuff on the industry and the new product. But we'll talk to you later, Evan, and we'll keep in touch with Supplocker.
All right, Chase. Hey, thanks for having me on. Really appreciate it. Really